I don't want to rave too much about him because, we're a little bit at odds right now, programming wise, as far as where we're at on our TV stuff. But I know that they picked the right guy, and there was, in my mind at least, on the purchase, in my mind at least, there was a good chance that they were going to bring in somebody that they were familiar with and comfortable with, and I would probably, there'd be a title change pretty quickly, and I'm out at 53 years old, and they actually, went just the opposite direction. Nick, he really is the complete package, and if you look at what he's done, and I don't mean his history, I mean his NWA run. He is surprisingly big for anybody who's never been around him. I'm a big guy. I'm probably not 6'3" anymore as I continue to get older, but 6'3", 250 pounds, and Nick has got probably 2 inches on me in height and weighs about the same. He's got the British background as far as technical wrestling. One of his setups to his finish is going off the top ropes. You don't see a lot of guys at 6'5" hit that elbow like he does. His conditioning is phenomenal, and look at what he's done on the promos, because he's carried the promotion. He's been the face of the franchise. He's had the title twice, and he's worked both sides. Which is basically, to me, what an NWA World Champion does. You do whatever you have to do on any given night to continue to be that champion. He got rave reviews walking out there for the first 10 episodes of everybody cheering him. Well, now he's flipped it, and he almost couldn't cut the promo the other night because they wouldn't stop booing him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was great.
Yep.
Yeah, he's working. He can work. He's working both sides and doing a fantastic job of it. I got to stop raving, because at some point I need to punch him in the mouth to try to get some of this back as far as this last match that we didn't have. But he's intelligent. He's well spoken. I hate be sarcastic. He doesn't dress bad. The guy owns the corner on vests and suits, and but he raises the bar for everybody. He's doing and done, and will continue to do a great job.
And you two, as far as promos, kind of go back to that, the back and forth between you guys is great. That if you guys are on 2 different segments and those are promo segments, that they're going to be great and going to knock them out of the park. And then when you guys interact together, great chemistry between you guys.
And I think I think we feel that too sometimes. In most cases, we're going out there and we're just going. We don't rehearse. We don't do anything. Sometimes I have to kind of, as the face, I've got to kind of throttle it back and make sure that But man, he's hard to top on a promo. So when we're interacting and we're going back and forth, I won't say all of that is true emotion all the time, but all of that is pure interaction with very little knowing what we're going to do or what we're going to say. And, I definitely feel the chemistry when we're doing that.
When he refers to you, he, not really saying it to you, but he's referring to you as Randy the Ram and saying stuff like that. Like, what's your reaction? Like, damn, Nick, you're going there? What the hell?
Oh, man. I don't want to get behind the curtain too much. He almost got me on that one, I'm not going to lie. He pulled I told Nick about 4, 5, 6 months ago that, man, I don't know how much this out. It's not bad at all, but it's really getting behind like my personal. I had some students that thought it was really funny last year. They wouldn't do it where I could see them or see who was saying it, but they used that. They would say muscle neck, and I told Nick about that. And dang it, if he didn't pull that on a promo on TV, and that one didn't get me. We had joked about that a little bit, but the Randy the Ram almost broke me. Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm locked in and I'm intensity, and he pulled that one, and I really just want to go, wow, you suck, because that was good. And the frustrating thing about how this stuff works is I know I'm not getting the mic back that night. So I can't respond and I can't say anything. I just got to sit there and chew on it. And, yeah, that was good. I'm not going to lie. That was a good one. He scored points on that one.
Yeah. Muscle neck, Randy the Ram. Those are good.
Yep.
He's very quick-witted.
He is an incredibly intelligent person all the way around. He's money on the mic. He's money in the ring. And, like I said, sometimes you got to sit back and I hate to say tip the hat because, I think give me the mic back and we'll see what happens. But I know I'm not getting the mic back. So I can just sit there and kind of simmer a little bit and think and say, okay, I can think a lot of things, but I'm not going to have a chance to. He's going to win this round because I can't respond.
Absolutely. And obviously a big part of NWA Powerr every week, whether you're really wrestling or not, has been your feud with him. And this big feud, obviously the first episode, he beats you and he gives you an NWA title shot. He beats you. You're never allowed to challenge for the NWA title again. Is that one of those things where it's like, wow, this is a pretty intense storyline because the stakes are insanely high. I mean, the NWA World Title is what you want, what you aspire to be. No longer can you have a shot at it.
Well, and the emotion of that is real for me.
Yeah.
The highest point. Somebody asked me the other day if what was going on right now was the highlight of my wrestling career, and truthfully, having that NWA World Title was the highlight of my career. So being in the ring and losing that match, that is real emotion for me, because to sit there and think, a promo that I cut 3 years ago was that was my mountaintop, and again, that's real. I know for me there is nothing higher, and I've had people say, oh, if so and so called. No, there is nothing higher for me than to know that my name got put on a list with Harley Race, Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, and you know the list. I mean, it is literally a who's who of professional wrestling. To know that I did that was my high point. Well, now I'm basically sitting in the ring knowing I will never have another opportunity. And that's real for me. That doesn't get any more emotional. It doesn't hit any closer to home, because if that's my mountaintop, that means I'm never going to get there again.
And for them to do that on the first episode, it really kind of set the pace for the show. Like, wow, okay, NWA World Title shot, first show. Wow, what stakes. Now he could never get the title shot again. But they kind of interweave you and him arguing a lot, fighting a lot. Then even recently, he's supposed to wrestle you in the first round of the NWA TV title tournament. He pulls out of the match. You beat Royce Isaacs. But it's one of those things, again, they kind of tease. You're almost going to get to that mountaintop. You're going to face the champion. Nope, they pull it out from under you again. Pretty clever and pretty good storytelling that they're interweaving all the way from episode 1 till the current episode.
Right, and again, a lot of people will hear me say this and not believe it. I have no clue where this is going. Nobody has laid out a plan for me and said, okay, here's what we're looking at. I have no clue. I don't know. I don't have a clue what I'm doing on the pay-per-view when I show up right now. I have nothing. I don't know who my next round opponent is. It's all new to me. So again, and I function better that way, because apparently, I guess my real emotion comes through. So I guess when I show up and here's the match, okay, that's real emotion. If I win, that's real emotion, because I'm moving forward in something that I believe in. If I lose, that's real emotion. So, it's working, but I don't know. I have no master plan. I know that I'm going to show up, and whoever my opponent is, I'm going to try to have a good match, and hopefully I'll come out on top, and we'll see what happens next. I don't know. I saw a poster the other day. One of the first posters that came out for the pay-per-view was Nick and I and Camille. And I was like, well, that's interesting. I don't have a clue what that means. So, we'll see.
Yeah, and if you actually look for the Fight TV and everything they promoted with, that's the posters that they used. Just that one that they've been using. So, and with the TV title kind of in the background,
Right.
with you guys more in the foreground. So I don't know what they're teasing there or what they're throwing out there, but it's very interesting that you made the poster, which is very, very cool, which means that they have a lot invested in you.
Well, I think they have been pretty upfront with me as far as, I don't think maybe they had the foresight when they did it. He's not currently working with the NWA, but one of the guys who had a lot to do with me getting that first shot at the title and getting to that point is a guy named James Beard, who has been in wrestling for almost 40 years. He is
legendary referee.
Yeah. And
yep.
James is one of my travel partners. And when all this started happening, he and I talked about it a lot. But, he laid out a plan that how he would do it. And he didn't tell anybody, but they kind of followed the same plan. So as it sits right now, as we move forward, I don't know. It's I would love to win that TV title. But here's what they have told me. They said, James, and my point was James said, I think you're the perfect guy, whether they know it or not. This is before any of this happened. You're the perfect guy to kind of bridge that gap between old school and the new NWA. And, they've come to me and said, we really, you could have handled this a lot of different ways. We appreciate exactly what you've done. We recognize, how much you've been a part of this. And that's nice to hear. It's nice to know because, it means a ton to me. And again, I said this at 53 with the 10 pounds of gold. The first 10 episodes were basically following how I got there, where I came from, who I was, Nick and I's, as we started to have our confrontation and until where he beat me. And, I look at that and he was right. It did work out really well as the guy who made the transition. But I said at that point at 50, it's not many 53-year-old wrestlers who are probably getting the most, their personal highest level of media attention at 53. Well, here now we turn around 2 years later at 55, and it's kind of happening again. So what, if this, and my body can't do it forever. I can do everything I've always been able to do in the ring. The problem is it just takes me longer to recover from it. It hurts a little worse, but that's okay because that's my choice. But if this is the last run, whatever this is, how many of us get to say at 55 or almost 56 that they're at the height of their career? So this is a great place to be for me, however it works out.